It's not even giving what y'all said it was supposed to give.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So welcome to a new segment on my channel. I'm gonna call it culturally uncultured, simply because like every time like I share something with my husband like from my childhood or something that I know and he doesn't know anything about it, I'll call him uncultured. He does the same with me. So as far as me either watching like cult classics that I've never seen before or like extremely popular movies that I've never seen before, I don't know anything about them, so I'm gonna call myself uncultured on these things. So tonight we are watching, or excuse me, tonight we are discussing Pulp Fiction. I've heard this title time and time again. I know it's starring Uma Thurman. Other than that, I don't know anything else about it. Like, I've seen the movie cover like a lot, but I've never seen anything about it. Now tonight we are doing skincare because like I need to do two things at once to like get myself ready for bed, right? So it's been almost a week and I am doing a deep cleaning of my skin with a Indian clay mask. So yeah, let's get started. If you don't know what an Indian clay mask is, it's just gonna clean your skin really good. It's the mask, of course. It is apple cider vinegar. Don't worry about this bottle. It's been through some things. Don't worry about it. And then like I've just got like a little cup to put it in. Pulp Fiction. Let me tell y'all this. Watching this movie the whole time, I kept asking myself like, is this what it feels like to be high? Because like I was like, to me it felt like it was like all over the place. And so like it's different like mini like little story arcs that like are supposed to like wrap up into one. But it was something. It's by Quentin Tarantino, which I am a fan of Kill Bill and Kill Bill 2. Like I love both of those movies with Uma Thurman. But this one, I was like, baby, what is going on? So real quick, just to read y'all like the movie description. Let me read that to y'all real quick. Okay, so it says Vincent Vega, who is played by John Travolta, and Jules Winfield, who is Samuel L. Jackson, are hitmen with a penchant for philosophical discussions. In this ultra-hip, multi-strand crime movie, their storyline is interwoven with those of their boss, gangster Marcellus Wallace, his actress wife, Mia, who is Uma Thurman, struggling boxer Butch Coolidge, who is Bruce Willis. He is Demi Moore's ex-husband. Master fixer Winston Wolfe, and a nervous pair of armed robbers, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. Okay, so like I said, it's by Quentin Tarantino. Before I even get started, this movie was really off-putting for me when they started saying the N-word, honey, with the hard R. I was like, what are we doing? Quentin himself said it 4 times. I counted. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I was like, you know, just because there are black people in this movie doesn't mean it makes it okay, but all right, good. I was like, okay. But, so the movie starts off in a diner with Honey Bunny and her boyfriend, Pumpkin, I think is what it said. And they're discussing robbing a bank, actually. I guess they're like low on money. And they're discussing robbing a bank. And they're like not really being quiet about it. And so I was like, is this what robbers do? They just go out in public and sit at a diner and discuss like robbing a bank. I was like, y'all aren't worried about somebody like snitching like, hey, I heard them at the diner, like plotting their scheme. So they're sitting there, and really what felt to me like they were just talking aimlessly about really nothing. Like it just felt like they were just talking to be talking is what it felt like to me. I was like, okay, like let's get to the point. And I know that it felt to me like that lasted every bit of 20 minutes of them talking about really him, Pumpkin talking about nothing. I was like, okay. Well, all of a sudden, Pumpkin decides, hey, why don't we just rob this diner that we're sitting in right now, right? So, of course, Honey Bunny, you know, I kept wondering, I was like, is she, and I'm not saying this to be funny, I was like, is she mentally challenged? Like, is she, or is she just, like, one of the types who's, like, easily influenced because this is, like, the love of her life and, like, she'll do anything that he says, you know, to do. But, sorry. So, he gets up on the table, he's like, oh, it's a stick up, like, give me all your money. I was like, okay. So then, after that, what seemed like for forever, then it hops to Samuel Jackson, Jules, and John Travolta, right? I can't remember his name. And so they are actually, they're at this apartment complex, right? And they're going to, y'all, I'm using my fingers. I always use my fingers. They're clean. So they are going to this apartment complex, right? To collect something for Marcellus from these guys at the apartment complex. So Samuel Jackson and John Travolta are talking about basically how Marcellus killed this guy over Mia, right? He says it was a foot massage, but then, like, he alludes to the fact that they slept together. And so I'm like, okay. But it seemed like that conversation as well went on for forever and forever. And I was like, what is going on? Like, is every scene gonna be like this? Is like the scene just seemed like they lasted for forever. They finally get up to the, you know, to the door of these guys in this building, right? And I thought they were about to go in there, but then they go off to the side to continue to have this long, drawn-out conversation. I was like, okay, enough is enough, right? In this movie, I also realized that I think Samuel Jackson has been yelling and moving in movies since, like, the beginning of time. I was like, what is going on? I was also taken aback by the Jerry curl wig they had him wear. I was like, okay, that's weird. And then John Travolta had, like, these large, like, Mr. Clean earring in his ear. And then he had, like, longer hair that was, like, not slicked back, but, like, halfway slicked back. I was like, okay, these styling choices. All right, okay, whatever. So, they get inside this apartment, right? They get inside this apartment, and they're basically, interrogating these three guys, right, about whatever it is that they're trying to get back from Marcellus, right? So they end up getting whatever it is. And throughout this movie, Samuel Jackson has this Bible quote that he quotes before he kills somebody, right? So he's saying it to this guy who, he's saying it to one of the guys. He's already shot one. And he's saying it to one of the guys, and then him and John Travolta shoot the guy. I'm like, okay, like, what the heck is going on in this movie? Like, I'm lost. Like, y'all, when I swear to God, when I only have a page and a half of notes. I always have, like, 8 pages at least front to back. I have a page and a half, and I just couldn't. I was like, what is going on, right? So anyways, they get what they came there for. They get it, they leave, right? Okay, next story arc. They go back to where Marcellus is, and this is where we meet Butch, who is Bruce Willis. Butch is a struggling boxer, and his dad died when he was young, and apparently every man, like his dad, his grandfather, great-grandfather, you know, keep going back, they've all been in the military of some branch of the military. And there's this like little pocket watch that they've been passing down as a family heirloom. Well, Butch ended up getting the family heirloom from a colleague of his dad who was in the military with him. His dad died, but he came in with this whole story about, like, oh, your dad, like, carried this in his butt for 2 years because he didn't want anybody to steal it, and then I carried it in my butt. I was like, I wouldn't want that. You keep that, like, it's got you. But he's like, yeah, so here. So Butch grows up. Now he's a struggling boxer. So Butch has no money, and he goes to see Marcellus, right? Okay. Marcellus loans him money, and he's like, I think he basically tells him, like, after your fight, because Butch is gambling on himself, like, after your fight, you know, I want my money back, right? So Butch is like, okay. Now, we also come to find out that John Travolta is taking out Mia, who is Uma Thurman. So he's telling Samuel Jackson, he's like, my only goal is just, you know, take her out, make sure she has a good time, and take her home. Like, basically, like, I'm not trying to die. So then we swap over, and John Travolta, he goes and he gets Mia. And this is when I realized, I was like, okay, she's a drug addict and so is he. Like, it's like, it felt like every 2 minutes she was somewhere snorting something up her nose. I was like, girl, calm down. And then, like, he was doing the same thing. I was like, what the F is going on? I think he actually, like, y'all, I don't know drugs for real. I think it was heroin. I don't know. But they go out, they have a good time, and they seem to really be, like, into each other. But Vincent, John Travolta, he does make it known to her. He's like, oh, you know, Marcellus threw this guy off of a balcony over you. Like, I'm not trying to have that same thing happen to me. And basically just letting her know, like, I'm not trying to, like, do the most with you and then, like, die. So, like, I'm just trying to make sure that you have a good time and then you make it back home and I'm still breathing tomorrow. Like, that's all I'm trying to do. So they go to this diner, which gives us, like, I like the diner. The diner gave us all this, like, nostalgia. There was, like, Marilyn Monroe was in there, like, a look-alike, and just things of, like, history's past, right? So I really liked the diner. They had aimless conversation. She went in the bathroom. She snorted some more drugs. And then they came out. They entered into a twist contest. I was like, okay. And then he took her home. So he takes her home, and he's in the bathroom, like, giving himself this pep talk of, like, basically how he's not going to sleep with her. Now, during this time, like I said, she's a drug addict, and she found drugs in his freaking coat pocket. So she takes a whiff, right, and ODs. So he knows, okay, if I don't, like, rescue her now, like, I'm for sure dead. Like, this is, like, the end of the line. So he takes her back to the guy who gave him his drugs, right? And they essentially revive her, right? And he takes her back home, and he's like, basically, like, you're okay, like, I'm glad you're okay. And then that's the end of that story arc. And by this time, I was like, I don't know what's going on in this movie. I'm lost. Yeah. So, I can say, like, Quentin Tarantino has this, specific style of, like, the way he shoots his movie. There's always that, like, that camera panning where it's, like, in the actor's face, where it looks like they're talking directly to you instead of the other person. And so, like, when they were in the diner and he was doing this to Uma Thurman, like, she looked beautiful. Like, she had on, I'm pretty sure it was a wig, but she had on, you know, that black short wig, which I'll probably have up in the back, actually, as my backdrop. But she has on that that black wig. She looks really good. I was just like, okay. But then we hop back in, and now we're in Butch's story arc, right? So Butch won his fight that night, right? Butch takes off with the money, and of course they come looking for him, but he's gone. In Butch's fight, he actually killed the guy he was fighting against, right? Butch had already forewarned his girlfriend, like, basically, hey, we're gonna hightail it out of town. So he basically told her, like, you know, pack up the house and, you know, meet me at this hotel, like, so we can leave, like, tomorrow. So he goes, and we just see like the interaction between him. She's foreign. I can't remember what exactly, but she's foreign, and their interaction together, like, it was okay, it was fine, it was good until he asked her about his watch. When he asked her about that watch, and he was like, oh, did you get my watch? And she's like, oh yeah, I got your watch. And he's like, where is it? She's like, oh, I don't know, I think I got it. Oh, he lost his mind. Like, he was like, I gotta go back and get my watch. You don't know what my dad went through to make sure I had that watch. I'm like, he stuck it up his butt. Like, yeah, that is a lot. But so he goes back to get this watch, and in the process of getting the watch, when he goes back into his apartment, because of course Marcellus, Jules, and Vincent, they're looking for him now. He goes back, he gets his watch. In the process of getting ready to leave, that's where he sees that Vincent is there. He shoots and kills Vincent. So Vincent is now dead. Now, he makes it back downstairs, back to the car. He's actually on his way back out of town to go get his girlfriend so that they can leave. Well, in the process of that, he sees Marcellus, right? So he runs him over. And I'm like, what is going on? He runs him over and crashes his car, right? So he's being attended to by some bystanders, and Marcellus gets up and starts shooting at him. So then they start running down the street, right? They happen into like a pawn shop, and this is where things get weird. They happen into this pawn shop, and they're like tussling on the ground, and this guy stops Butch actually from killing Marcellus, right? And so he calls somebody. He's like, he's caught 2 spiders in a web or something like that. I was like, okay. Next thing I know, they're in the basement, gagged and tied up. And I was like, what is going on here? Some policeman, which I've seen this man before, but I can't explain how I know this man. But he comes down, and essentially, I guess this is some type of like BDSM, like underground thing going on in the bottom of the pawn shop. So he actually takes Marcellus, right, and he starts to he's starting to take the goods from Marcellus, right? So Butch actually ends up saving him. So because Butch did this, Marcellus lets him off the hook. He's like, just get out of town and never come back, and then we're even there. Just like, I better never see you in LA again, right? And so Butch is like, okay, cool, whatever. So Butch goes back, he gets his girlfriend. He's like, oh, I'm sorry for flipping out on you. Like, let's go. So that's the end of that story arc. The final story arc is Vincent and Jules before Vincent died. They actually have one of the guys from the beginning, from the apartment, one of the only guys that they didn't kill. They have him in the back seat, and I guess they're on the way to take him back to Marcellus, right? And Vincent starts, I guess, kind of trying to interrogate him, but his gun goes off and he kills the guy in the back seat. So now blood's all over the car, and Jules is like, well, we can't just drive around, the police are going to pull us over if they see, this car covered with blood. So they go to Jules' friend's house, who happens to be Quentin Tarantino. And this is where he says all his N-word 4 times in a row, and I was like, what the freak is going on here? So, he calls Marcellus freaking out, and he's like, okay, his wife is going to be home any minute. Like, if she finds us here, like, there is going to be hell to pay. So he's like, okay, I'm going to send somebody in to help you guys clean it up, right? So he sends in what they call the wolf. He sends in, let me clean my fingers. He sends in this guy to help them get everything cleaned up, like, within a matter of, like, 45 minutes, I think. And so, they get everything cleaned up, and they get the car cleaned up and all that, and they take it to the junkyard to be smashed, right? And so after this is when Jules starts to tell Vincent, he's like, hey, like, I'm ready to get out of, like, the henchman business, like, I'm ready to just do something else. And Vince is like, oh no, I don't think you really want to do that or whatever, right? So one of them says, you want to go get some pancakes, grab something to eat. And so they wind up in the diner from the beginning of the movie. Now, they go in the diner and they're still talking about, you know, how Jules wants to leave and he's ready to do something else and he's done this long enough and all that, right? So Vincent gets up and goes to use the restroom. And at this very moment, this is the same time that Pumpkin decides to stand up, him and Honey Bunny, and say that they're going to rob the diner. So they're telling everybody, this is a stick up, give me all your stuff, like, I want your wallet, like, you know, the whole thing, you know, give me your stuff, nobody move, nobody, you know, nobody gets shot, nobody gets hurt, just give me your stuff so we can go. Well, they're taking everybody's stuff, of course, and they go to take Jules. He gives it to them, and then somehow, in the process of Pumpkin coming back over to Jules, he's like, you're gonna give me my wallet back. And he's like, what do you mean? So ends up he's holding him at gunpoint, and then Honey Bunny is pointing her gun at Jules, and she's like, she's basically like freaking out, right? Then Vincent comes out of the bathroom, so now he's got his gun pointed on Honey Bunny, and Jules is like, wait, like, everything's gonna be okay, just, you know, let us all, like, calm down. And what he's basically saying is, whatever it is that they went to go get at the apartment for Marcellus, he's like, this is something, like, he can't let go, because Pumpkin actually wanted the briefcase of whatever this top secret thing is, right? And he's like, oh, I can't do that. So he essentially talks them out of taking the briefcase. He's like, you can take all the money in my wallet, and then you can take, of course, all these other innocent people's wallets. That's fine with me, I don't care, and you can go, but you can't have this briefcase. So they take the briefcase, they leave, and then Jules and Vincent leave the diner, and that's the end of the movie. And I was sitting there like, what did I just watch? Like, what did I just watch? If anybody can explain to me in the comments why you like this movie so much, like, if you do like this movie, if this is one of your favorites, can you please explain to me why you like this movie? My face is starting to get hard because I didn't get it. I didn't laugh once. It was appealing to the eye, I can say that. As far as like the diner that Vincent and Mia went to, with the nostalgia in there, I liked that. But other than that, I was like, yeah, okay, all right, great. That's it. So I'm actually getting ready to go wash this off of my face. Tell me like in the comments how y'all feel about this movie, if you like Pulp Fiction, if you don't. Do you consider Pulp Fiction a cult classic? Because like a lot of people actually consider Pulp Fiction a cult classic. Do you consider a cult classic? Do you like it? If you do, why? If you don't, tell me why. I will see you guys in the next one. If you have any cult classics or extremely popular movies that you like that you would like to recommend, feel free to do so down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.